CTV News at 5 with Marina Moore and Tony Rima with weather.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. 4 teens have been arrested after reports of people being shot at with fireworks and a BB gun downtown Sudbury. Greater Sudbury police say they responded to calls that people in a truck were shooting at pedestrians last night around 10 p.m. No serious injuries were reported, though one person did say they were struck by a pellet. Police were able to obtain the license plate of the vehicle and track the suspects to Chelmsford. 2 18-year-olds and 2 17-year-olds have been charged with assault with a weapon and several other charges. Time now for our first check on weather, and plenty of sunshine out there again today. But what else is on the way? For those details, we go to CTV's Tony Rima.
Thanks for that, Marina, and good evening, everyone. Rain, that's what's on the way. As we take a look at our forecast radar, you see pockets of activity. By the way, your first weather is brought to you by CAA. Get your membership by going to getcaa.ca. And as you can take a look, we start to get some clearing, and then it's back to the clouds and shower activity, especially in through Wednesday afternoon, and a little bit more intense just south of North Bay. And that's going to be kind of the scenario over the next couple of days. Sun, cloud, and a chance of rain. More weather details later in the show. Marina.
All right, thank you, Tony. OPP in Bonfield, just east of North Bay, are warning of a dirty oil scam and are looking for 2 suspects.
If you're selling your vehicle online, you need to hear about this, the dirty oil scam happening now in the North Bay area. Typically involves 2 people coming to...
Police say 2 men claiming to be from the Ottawa area met with the owner of a vehicle for sale. One suspect distracted the owner while the second sprayed a substance in the exhaust pipe before taking it on a test drive. After the test drive, the suspects complained of white smoke coming from the exhaust. While the owner inspected the exhaust, one of the suspects sprayed something on the engine and used the supposed damages to try to negotiate a substantially lower price. The owner sent them away and called police. Meanwhile, police are asking for the public's assistance in identifying 2 suspects who stole a trailer from a business in North Bay yesterday. Police say a gray pickup truck was caught on surveillance video pulling into the business around 3 a.m. Monday, and that 2 men removed a 20-foot cargo trailer and damaged another trailer trying to break into it. For the second time since opening 2 years ago, a long-term care home in Sudbury has been ordered by the province not to take on any new residents. The Ministry of Long-Term Care has told Extendicare Countryside it cannot take on any new admissions. In an email to CTV News, the ministry says over the past 2 years, the facility has undergone 18 inspections and been issued 120 findings of non-compliance. The notice on the ministry's website says the order is based on the belief there's a risk to the health and safety and well-being of residents. A spokesperson for Extendicare says it has an action plan in place to address the ministry's concerns, and completed items include strengthened on-site leadership, improved the approach for direct engagement between home leaders and residents and families, and implemented increased audits by frontline leadership. A similar order to seize new admissions was issued to Extendicare Countryside in December 2024. The home has only been open since May 2024. Well, it was a lengthy discussion at Sioux Council last night regarding artificial intelligence data centers. Councillors Angela Caputo and Lisa Vezo-Allen brought forward a motion for a land use review and an interim ban on future data centers. The motion stems from a proposed West End facility that was approved by Council in December that would see the creation of hundreds of jobs in the city. Recently, an online petition emerged with residents calling into question the possible negative impacts of the data center. Members of that group spoke to Council demanding transparency and questioning job numbers. The focus on the controversial project dominated much of the conversation at Council.
This is not about being pro-data center or anti-data center. It is about, again, community-informed, responsible decision-making that will positively affect relationships that we at this table say we care about between ourselves and residents, First Nations, our environment, and the next 7 generations.
We can look at ways to improve the process, no doubt, but that should not mean an attack on the decision-making process that was made in December. It's neither practical nor reasonable, I believe, to pass the motion as drafted, because it does not accurately represent the facts of the process that we have already used and that is already before us. And so for those reasons, I do not intend to support this motion.
Ultimately, Council ended up deferring the motion until its meeting on August 31st. Time now for a quick break. Coming up on CTV News at 5, Tony has your full weather forecast. For now, though, let's take a live look at conditions in North Bay, where you can see a few clouds in the sky, looking like another beautiful summer day. But as Tony mentioned, few pockets of rain as well. More details coming up.
Welcome back, everyone. Now your main weather. Let's start with our forecast radar and pockets of activity. That means some clouds along with shower activity, depending upon where you live, especially in through Wednesday in our region. And things are going to be, well, temperatures not all that bad. They'll rise, they'll fall. Should be 23, 24 degrees, depending upon where you live, as a normal daytime high. And temperatures are going to be right in that ballpark, which is ever so nice. And in the early morning hours, the temperatures are still double digits, which is nice. Let's take a look at your 5-day weather forecast, starting with Sudbury Nickel Belt. Here it comes again. Sun, cloud, and a chance of some showers. Spot on temperature-wise, 24 degrees, slightly cooler in through Thursday. Beautiful sunshine Friday into Saturday. Sunday, well, showers on the way and a little cooler, 24 degrees. Some of you may love that temperature. In through Sault Ste. Marie, Algoma tomorrow, 24 degrees. Normal high is 23, and that is the temperature on Thursday. A little bit more cloud cover, a chance of some showers, beautiful clear skies heading into the weekend. Sunday, though, some showers and the temperature much cooler, 20 degrees. Heading on over now to Timmins, Cochrane, and Kapuskasing, 60% chance of showers. So there we go. Sometimes it'll be sunny, cloudy, you'll get a shower, and then just repeat the cycle. In through Thursday, mainly overcast, more precipitation, and a lot cooler. Look at the overnight low, 9 degrees, even cooler on Friday. And then come the weekend, overcast, and then on Sunday, more rain. Temperature drops ever so slightly. For Temiskaming Shores and Kirkland Lake, sun, cloud, showers, and risk of thunderstorms, more rain heading into Thursday. The weekend looks pretty good. Saturday, 25 degrees, then the temperature drops, increasing cloud cover and a chance of rain on Sunday. And finally, folks, your 5-day weather forecast for North Bay, West Nipissing. Overcast conditions, some sunshine, and of course, rain. There's also risk of a thunderstorm. 24 degrees, that's a normal daytime temperature for North Bay, West Nipissing this time of year. Thursday, you'll get much the same type of weather pattern. Beautiful clear skies Friday, Saturday. Sunday, we're back to the clouds and showers, and a lot cooler, coming in at 19 when it should be 24. Marina, it's back over to you.
All right, thank you, Tony. The province provided an update on the wildfire situation in Ontario this morning, saying this is the largest wildfire season on record for Ontario. The equivalent of 350,000 football fields have burned, but officials revealed today that progress is being made and dozens of more wildfires are being put out. As for the numbers, 152 wildfires are burning across northern Ontario. 12 are not under control. 84 fires were declared out at this morning's press conference, and while evacuation orders have been lifted for several communities, 1,100 people remain displaced. Calls continue for the government to hold a public inquiry into the response times. The Minister of Natural Resources responded to that request.
It's not always easy to get folks on the ground because, as I had said before, some of these areas are quite remote, but B, it makes it very difficult to fly planes safely. So from an evacuation perspective, obviously we try and give as much warning as we possibly can, and I think that's one of the things that we really want to press upon communities. If you see fires starting and you're able to evacuate, you should do it. You don't necessarily have to wait for the MNR or the government to come in and say, you know, you better get out.
Crews from other provinces and Mexico remain on the ground assisting fire crews. But given the progress, the government said today some of those crews will be returning to their home provinces in the coming weeks. We'll have more on this story tonight at 6. And British Columbia is also battling devastating wildfires. And in the midst of their crisis, BC is clamping down on off-road vehicles in hopes of preventing more human-caused wildfires.
We advised British Columbians today that we are putting a temporary ban in place for recreational off-roading within a number of fire centres, the Kamloops Fire Centre, the Southeast Fire Centre, as well as parts of the Caribou Fire Centre and the Coastal Fire Centre.
The temporary ban took effect at noon Monday and carries fines of up to $1,150. Off-road vehicles include ATVs, motorcycles, and side-by-side vehicles, which officials say can spark accidental fires in hot and dry conditions. Drivers are being urged to fill up today ahead of an expected jump at the pumps tomorrow. The cost of gas is set to rise 6 cents overnight, according to Canadians for Affordable Energy President Dan McTeague, who is also predicting that diesel will rise by 12 cents to roughly $2.21 a litre. McTeague says the Strategic Petroleum Reserve in the U.S. has dropped below 300 million barrels for the first time since the 80s. The well-known Bell Mansion in Sudbury is one step closer to its new purpose. Sudbury City Council approved an amendment to the Heritage Designation bylaw today, allowing the mansion's new owner, Devla Properties, to take the next steps in renovations to the historical John Street site. The change to the bylaw which elements of the property are protected. The owner of the property says they'll be looking to rezone the location to move ahead with their plans for the site. CTV's Angela Gemmell will have the full story on this coming up at 6. And still here on CTV News at 5, Northern athletes compete in Special Olympic Summer Games. Plus, a list of standout women are honored in Sudbury, set to receive a special award. Several standout women are being honored in Sudbury through the YWCA's annual Women of Distinction Awards Gala coming up in October. And the recipients were announced today. More from CTV's Madison Merrier.
Out of the 13 women who were nominated for the prestigious award, 7 outstanding women in Sudbury have been named to receive the honor.
They make an impact in our community, and you know, they're not doing it for money or accolades. They're doing it because they genuinely want to give of their time and their talents.
Gorman says those receiving the award are being recognized for the work they do for women and girls. Some examples include facilitating reading circles for English learners, becoming the first female chief of the Sudbury Emergency Department, raising over $350,000 in support of nonprofits, or championing initiatives to improve access to specialized services for healthcare in rural areas.
It's definitely necessary for us to use our voices and to speak for the women and children in our communities. On a daily basis, we get to help families find their home, but this way we can also help people find a safe home.
I truly feel like this is what I was meant to do. I also work with the OPP, so I sit on their Sexual Assault Review Committee. It's opened a lot of opportunities, like I said, to try and support survivors of violence.
While many of the women we spoke with say they feel humbled by the award, Gorman says it's important to recognize the work they've done.
This is an amazing gift that they're giving to the community, and it really needs to be recognized and hopefully motivate other women or other people in our community to do the same.
There are incredible women in this community. It is truly amazing the work that's being done behind the scenes.
It's nice to be able to feel like we're making an impact locally to the women and children here in Sudbury.
The gala will take place on October 17th, and organizers say the money raised will support annual youth conferences that are focusing on toxic messaging that perpetuates gender-based violence. Madison Merrier, CTV News, Sudbury.
More than 40 Special Olympians from Northern Ontario are in Medicine Hat, Alberta this week for Special Olympics Summer Games. 2 out of 3 Ontario soccer teams competing are from the north. The North Bay Shadflies and the Thunder Bay Thunder Wolves. Athletes from 9 communities, including New Liskeard, Elliott Lake, Marathon and Dryden, are as well as the major centers will be competing in track and field, bocce, powerlifting, 10-pin bowling and swimming. We're wishing the best of luck to the Olympians competing. A group of dog handlers in the Kirkland Lake area is learning how their animals could one day help locate a missing person. As CTV's Lydia Chubak reports, a 3-day workshop this weekend will teach participants skills used in tracking and search operations.
You did so good today!
A dozen dog handlers will be spending the weekend putting their animals through a series of search and rescue exercises. The 3-day workshop is being hosted by DSV Canine Academy in conjunction with Sheba's School of Dog Training. William Bolton is one of the instructors. He says the idea is to build a pool of qualified civilian teams that can support emergency services when called upon.
It's not a case of trying to replace them or trying to what they call self-deploy and do it myself. That is not what this is all about. This is basically going to be training people to then possibly work in addition to them and work with them in conjunction with whatever's going on.
Participants will learn tracking, area searches, and human remains detection. But Bolton says finding a missing person can mean working far beyond a trail or open field, and the dogs have to be ready for that.
It's very disciplined, so we want the dog to be able to follow procedure. We want the dog to also do quite a bit of what we call agility, because we're not walking along the side of the road with our dog on the leash. These are in rough grounds.
That includes navigating various obstacles while handlers learn to read behaviors. The workshop is part of an effort to develop more local resources for search operations across the region. Deputy Chief Darren Donnell with the Timmins Police Service says that currently there is no canine unit locally and that the service relies on other police services who have these resources when needed. Lydia Chubak, CTV News, Timmins.
When we return, it's Take Me Home Tuesday, plus what's Ugly Potato Day? You're watching First at 5.
Welcome to another edition of Take Me Home Tuesday as we look to find loving homes for dogs and cats. Emma Bailey of the Sudbury SPCA now joins us. So nice to see you again.
Nice to see you too.
Who did you bring in for us today?
This is Louise. She's very sweet. She's a year old and she's an American Bulldog mix. So we think she has lots of different qualities to love. She's very, very sweet. She still has that puppy energy. So she's still learning her behaviors, her manners, how to walk on a leash well, but she does great in the car and she's just looking for her forever home.
She's very active, as you mentioned. She has a lot of energy and her coloring is just beautiful.
She's just stunning, and she's a little lean, but she's working on her fitness, but she should maybe get a little bit bigger than this, but otherwise she should stay around this size, we're thinking. She has been untested with other animals from what we know, but we think a slow introduction she might do well, and we're happy to provide any resources too to help you out.
What about families with small children? How do you think Louise would fit in, adapt?
We think she'd do really well. She's still very young and adaptable, and she's very smart. She loves training, so we think she'd do great in a family where she can get so much attention from the kids and also work on her manners.
Before our cameras turned on, you mentioned that she knows how to shake a paw, which is great news.
Yes, let me see if she'll do it on camera. Can we shake a paw? Right here. No, not on camera. She's camera shy. That's
too much pressure.
Too much pressure. That's okay. She just shows off for hopefully her adoptive family when they come to visit.
Anything else that you'd like to add for our viewers, because it's a busy time at the Sudbury SPCA?
Our adoptions have been pretty busy, but we do have a lot of long-term animals who have been there a while and looking for their forever home. Some of our stars on here, like Odin, the German Shepherd, and Pumpkin, our larger kitty, they're still waiting for their forever home. So if anyone's interested, all of our animals, we have walk-in meet and greets. You can stop by any day of the week from 11 to 6, kisses, at 21 LaSalle Boulevard, and all of our animals are on OntarioSPCA.ca too.
Emma, thanks for coming in and for bringing in Louise. Thanks for your time.
Thank you for having us.
That was Emma Bailey of the Sudbury SPCA. By the way, to see more of our Take Me Home Tuesday segments, head to our website, CTV News Northern Ontario.ca.
Our first community close-up comes to us from Sault Ste. Marie, where Lou Cochimilio has been trying to outsmart the squirrels in his yard, who he says have been hogging all the peanuts meant for blue jays. So far, he says clearly the squirrels are winning and that none of his obstacles are able to stop them. Well, at least it makes for a funny video, Lou. Thank you for sharing the laugh, and please keep us updated on what else you come up with. Next, let's take a look at a photo of a very healthy-looking female fox in Blind River. Larry Kirtley says he's been following her for the past 6 years and that she has about 5 fox kits every spring. He says lighting was perfect, the colors are vibrant. I have to agree. And finally, when I was off last week, I happened to snap a couple of shots at the boat launch on Dunlop Lake in Elliott Lake. I just love all of the lily pads thriving under blue skies and thought, wow, this is the perfect paradise for frogs, which we happened to spot a few of as well, but of course the kids scared them off pretty quickly. If you have any pictures or videos or events you'd like us to showcase, please email them to us at communitycloseup@bellmedia.ca. Include your name, location, and a short description. And finally for us tonight, British Columbia farmers gathered again this year to give away free ugly produce. The tradition started 4 years ago to prevent vegetables that would otherwise be tossed away. More than 30,000 people turned up for this year's Ugly Potato Day, setting a new world record for the largest donation of produce in 24 hours. More than 246,000 kilograms were given away, topping the 2016 record set in Sacramento, California. The produce was either damaged or too small to sell in stores.
The aim of this event is to show our community that, firstly, local farmers care. We see that you're going through a hard time, so we have over 25 farms that donated to this event. Secondly, it's to show the amount of food that we can't eat just because it looks ugly, even though it's still nutritious and delicious.
Produce from 25 different farms was provided. The event was held at a local fairgrounds to handle the large crowd. What a great idea. It looks like the fruit or the veggies were not that ugly to me. They look delicious. Continue watching. For now, we're handing things over to CTV National News.